They're the best wrestlers in the world, fighting for the world championship. But tonight, they're fighting for justice for one brave boy. And you can help them make the takedown. The small town of Oquawka, Illinois sits on the banks of the Mississippi. It was here that Dwight Vice raised his 12-year-old son, Daryl. They shared a passion for fishing, rooting on their favorite wrestlers,
check this one out. What? This one.
and riding ATVs. Dwight and Daryl had a relationship any father and son would want. It was based on friendship. And Dwight was also friends with John Boyd. Dwight knew Boyd was a petty criminal, but he had no idea what his friend was capable of.
Good, man. Good seeing you.
I knew John Boyd since 1997. I had known John to do breaking and entering robbery, smoke some grass, do some dope. This is something that they would be into, but it escalated. Something set them off.
On May 3rd, 2001, police say several of Boyd's friends went with him to Dwight's house, including Demetrius Androsopoulos.
Well, it just so happens that I know for a fact that he's got money.
How do you know that fool's got money?
Cuz, I was just at Dwight's house, and the dude is peddling weed.
Time to cash in.
Do it. Stay here.
You ready to do this, John? We're ready to do it. Come on, John, let's do it.
The horror 12-year-old Daryl had to endure that night was unimaginable.
Where's the money? Listen, man, I told you I've got $600 on my dresser. All the money.
Now is not the time to be messing with me, Dwight.
I got more in my checking account. Look,
What are you gonna do? Write me a check.
They just left for a couple of seconds. He spit the gag out of his mouth.
Listen, Daryl, I love you very much, and I promise nothing is going to happen to you.
And then he just told me that he loved me and that nothing was going to happen.
Dwight, out of here.
He put a pillow over my face and actually started trying to smother me. I would like move around to fight out of it, and then he would scream and yell at me some more.
What? You think you can get away?
He took a cord off my PlayStation.
Playtime's over.
Since I knew John, I actually said, "Why are you doing this, John?"
I thought you were my friend.
You should pick your friends more carefully.
He pulled so tight that it broke, it snapped in two. And that's when he stabbed me.
Police say John Boyd stabbed Daryl in the spine, as well as nearly severing the boy's hand.
After he stabbed me, and I laid there really still and just closed my eyes just to play dead.
And Daryl would have died if not for one thing. John Boyd had tied Daryl up so tightly that tape acted as a tourniquet, cutting off the flow of blood and preventing Daryl from bleeding to death.
How do you think you made it through the night?
I think God was some part of it. I was just praying, really. Actually, for quite a long time. Dad? Then I would just yell, "Dad." Dad? But then I would never get an answer, so then I'd just stop.
All the money, now!
Dwight.
The next morning, Bob Boughton, a co-worker of Dwight's, showed up.
Dwight, come on, man. We're going to be late.
Bob?
Dwight. Come on, man. Let's go. We're going to be late. Dwight.
Bob was the first one to discover Dwight Vice. His close friend had been stabbed to death.
Oh.
And when Bob found Daryl, this 12-year-old boy was barely alive.
Is my dad okay?
Oh, my God. It is a miracle that Daryl is still alive. I've never been involved in a case of this nature before where there was such trauma to the victims of the crime.
Surgeons rushed to save Daryl's life. Daryl found the strength to survive, and the courage to identify John Boyd as the man who nearly killed him. Police arrested John Boyd, and he'll spend the rest of his life behind bars. Cops also arrested 2 of Boyd's accomplices. But Demetrius Androsopoulos got out of Aquaca before cops could bring him in. Daryl will be paralyzed for the rest of his life. He's experienced horror no child or adult should ever have to live through. He often thinks about the father he lost so young in life. Now, instead of watching wrestling with his dad, he watches it with his best friend Matt, and is a huge fan of 2 of its biggest stars, Kane and The Undertaker. And when I told World Wrestling Entertainment about Daryl, they realized what a true fighter this brave young man really is. So The Undertaker and Kane surprised Daryl, who quickly became his biggest fan.
You're one tough dude. All right? And they'll find that guy, okay? You don't even worry about that.
They invited Daryl to be their guest at a match. Being there with Daryl was an amazing experience, not just for me, but for everyone that day. This is one strong kid, and a kid who deserves justice.
And there's a big-time loser out there, and if you've seen him or you know where he is, Demetrius Androsopoulos, please, you need to call 1-800-CRIME-TV.
And let's not forget these clues. Androsopoulos has worked at a meatpacking plant and speaks fluent Greek. He's from Chicago and may hang with members of the Latin King street gang. So if you've seen him, do the right thing and call us tonight.
Let me tell you, I know a lot of tough guys, but you can't get any tougher or any braver than little Daryl Vice. Since we last checked in on Daryl, he's found a school that can handle his special physical needs, and he's doing great. Not only that, he faced down 2 of the cowards that attacked him and his father, testifying against them in court. Testimony that helped brand each of them with a jail sentence of at least 100 years. So now let's grab that dirtbag Androsopoulos tonight and get Daryl that final piece of justice that he so deserves. Now stay with us. We'll be right back.
Coming up, this accused con man has been on the run for 5 years. Clearly, he hasn't been running very hard. Please, help us take him off the streets so we never have to look at these photos again.
This scene is played out in banks in the Chicago suburbs again and again and again. 9 times in all over the past 2 years. And cops say the same robber carrying a semi-automatic pistol can be seen in every one of these surveillance videos. And you're not going to believe this. He's hit one bank in Wheaton, Illinois 3 times. The first was January 3rd, 2003.
All of a sudden, the door just flung open very quickly and very loudly. And a man ran in and started screaming very loudly, "Give me all of your money. This isn't a joke. I have a gun." He just took all the money, put it in his bag, and just ran out. I mean, I was scared. My heart was, like, in my throat.
Less than a month later, he was back for more.
I just could not believe that this was happening again.
When the gunman ran off, tellers hoped it was the last they'd see of him. But after robbing a different bank, he and his gun returned a few weeks later. Cops don't know who this guy is, but the surveillance video tells them a lot about him.
This individual is what is called indexing. When someone holds a weapon and they have their trigger finger not on the trigger but is laid alongside the frame of the gun, that is called indexing. That is something that is taught and learned by law enforcement people in their firearms training. Something also that is learned and taught to the military.
Cops do this as a safety measure so they won't accidentally pull the trigger. This guy may have the training, but he clearly doesn't care about anyone's safety. From witness descriptions, police know the robber is a white male with blue eyes. He's around 5'9" with a medium build, and cops believe he's between 20 and 30 years old. They also believe he's very dangerous. In addition to the semi-automatic pistol he carries, he wears body armor. That indicates he's ready for a shootout. Let's stop him before it gets that far. If you can help cops identify this bank robber, give our hotline a call right now. The scene, the trendy lakefront area of New Orleans. A young woman met a man who introduced himself as Will and bought her champagne. Later that night, Will offered to drive her home. But once she got into his car, the young man who seemed so nice turned violent.
No warning, all of a sudden just started striking her. She fell to the ground, unconscious, but she could still hear him, you know, still hitting on her. He threw her in the trunk, closed the trunk, and then drove off with her.
Police say he drove the woman to his home, tied her up, and brutally raped her again and again. After he let her go, she went straight to the police. Her statement led Detective Sachs to the lakefront in search of the mystery man named Will who had been buying champagne.
And there was only one guy that purchased champagne that night. Bartender recalled that he charged it on his charge card. We found a receipt from American Express with the perpetrator's name, Wilfred Catoya. I mean, it's unbelievable. Terrific breakthrough on a case.
Less than 24 hours after the rape, Detective Sachs was knocking on the suspect's door.
He was just like shocked. We walked to the bedroom. We found the victim's gold chains on his dresser. The sheets were full of blood. They had blood spatters on the back of the wall behind the headboard. He directed us to where he hid the ropes. We got the masking tape that he taped her up with, which had her hair, blood.
Detective Sachs says Catoya confessed and he was charged with rape, but he didn't face his punishment.
His father put up $750,000 cash bond for him to get out of jail. Haven't seen him since.
Catoya fled the country. That was 23 years ago. But cops aren't giving up on this case, and neither are we, because sources say Catoya has recently slipped back into the U.S. Here's what Catoya looked like at the time of the crime in 1981. Here's what we think he looks like today. Let's close the books on this cold case. If you have any information about Wilfred Catoya, please call us tonight. Tonight we have new clues in the strange case of the fugitive who took his family on the run with him. U.S. Marshals say John Missick, seen in these surveillance photos, is a serial con man, wanted for robbery, counterfeiting, and fraud.
He is very good at counterfeiting checks. He will assume the identity of an individual and obtain their banking information through the U.S. mail normally. Once he obtains that information, he will make a check with their account number on it and begin cashing those checks at various branches throughout the area.
And they know he's dragging his family around the country as he pursues his life of crime, because he's sending home photos of their life on the run. Investigators say in the past 3 years, he scammed more than $500,000. With the stolen cash, Missick and his family have been able to stay a step ahead of the law. Since we last brought you this story, U.S. Marshals have obtained these new pictures of the Missick family. They contain a big clue. Really big. John Missick is ballooned to about 300 pounds. One other clue, marshals say he may be going to prostitutes. Missick was most recently spotted in Dallas, Texas, but the marshals say he and his family could be in Oklahoma, Arkansas, or Louisiana. They may be traveling in a 1999 burgundy-colored Dodge conversion van using fake names. So take a good look at these pictures of John and Karen Missick and at their 3 children, Tiffany, Doug, and AJ. One more thing to look for. It's likely the family has their 4 dogs with them. If you see John Missick and his family, call us right now at 1-800-CRIME-TV.